Hey guys, welcome back. Another episode of the Productive Not Busy podcast with me, Coach Wayne, where we are addressing the needs of business owners and planting the seed for a secure future. When I'm in organizations, the top three things I hear from everybody: I want more time, I want more money, I want less stress. Remember, it's about attitude, action, and approach. And I can help you with that. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you've had an amazingly productive week. Today, we are going to be talking about realistic versus unrealistic goals. It's that time of year where everybody starts setting goals for 2022. Talk to a lot of clients, and a lot of them are all over the board. What really gets me energized, though, is the people that talk about some unrealistic goals. So today we're going to talk about the difference between the two. So a goal is how you see yourself in the future, right? Your goals are important to build and transform your life for betterment. Your goals determine your lifestyle and your philosophies you adopt in your journey in life in general. Goals are broadly classified as being realistic in nature or unrealistic. So let's talk about that. Realistic goals are the goals in which the chances of achievement are considerably higher. On the other hand, unrealistic goals are the goals that may, most of the time, not come to fruition, but that's okay. And I'll explain why. Realistic goals are far more practical in nature, okay? Like acquiring a qualification or pursuing a specific career. Unrealistic goals are the superficial goals that may or may not many times be achievable, like going for a trip into space or something outlandish, etc. You have to set goals consciously, understanding the reason behind and envisioning the future beforehand, right? Certainly, every goal needs fueling, the requisite skills, energy, time, and resources. So, by infusing all of these, if you understand the ground rules right, you could achieve the goal, which is nothing but your realistic goal. But despite cooking with all these fuels, if you still find it difficult or if things don't materialize, you could as well term this as your unrealistic goal. You might get a chance to turn your unrealistic goals into realistic goals, but that happens mostly by pure luck or by an external force over which really you have no control over. So be authentic and true to yourself when you set your goals in the first place. Make a list of such goals that you have in mind, and then define which of these goals fall into the realistic bracket and which others fall into the unrealistic bracket by employing the tips that I'm about to follow. Number one, you need to identify your strengths and weaknesses. Okay. Jot down all your skills and your areas that you're a little sketchy on. I call them your scapegoat areas. If your goals match your skills or you have the self esteem to build upon the necessary skills, you could undoubtedly, without a doubt, achieve by dedicating your efforts. So you want to identify your opportunities and your threats. So before you jump into action, try to estimate the pitfalls that come over during your journey. Estimate all the pros and cons that you foresee that you might encounter. If you express a keen interest in driving them off out of your way, then this is certainly a realistic goal. Next, you need to determine your strategy. Your approach towards your goal also decides if it can be realistic in nature. So with a structured plan and a well laid out action strategy, if you envision achieving a goal, it means you might do it. You may not be a master of all, but you're certainly not an all-arounder. That's what I call it. Just like anybody else. Not everybody's perfect at everything. This is the time when you have to give yourself time to work into building up new skills and direct those new skills towards your passion and your desired expectation or goal. A few things that you can do is stay calm and just listen to your inner voice. Spend time with your inner self. If you have a concrete reason and supplemented it by dedicating it with an action, it's very well achievable. Do what's in your heart. Come from kindness and contribution, and make sure that you do it with genuine effort and hard work. I would also seek feedback from others. If you can work, you cannot judge yourself as you are bounded by external forces. Time Take timely feedback from other people that have an eye on you. Invest your time in spending time with them and deciding whether the goal that you set is for sure to happen sooner or later, or recall your goals and revise them accordingly. Take notes to the progress you make while you're working towards your goals. You might miss the timeline sometimes, but always set a timeline. So in other words, if you're going to lose 30 pounds, set a date on when that's supposed to happen. Don't just blow in the wind with it. It's more important that you do it practically with a timeline. That way you can compare your present progress with your end goal. This will also help you decide whether or not your goals are realistic. And then read up on some success and failures. See, none of us are born with worldly knowledge and wisdom. You have to keep training yourself and put yourself in the learning curve all the way along the process. To gain more insight, you may have to read about successes that other people have had, but also read about the failures and what they learned from those failures to determine whether or not your goal is realistic or not. You'll now have a reasonable idea of your journey that lays ahead. And finally, you have to understand that any goal is achievable. Everybody has the potential, the drive, and the commitment towards achieving those desired results, as long as you take action and put a timeline on it. Do all the necessary groundwork to make your goals materialize. I think you would have already gained a fair idea of whether or not the goal is realistic or not when you first put them down on paper. But don't be cheap. Make it wildly unrealistic, put a timeline to it, and then adjust as you go. Again, we don't want it to be easy, but there's no reason to stress out about it either. Just remember that effort and mindset and action are not a commodity. There's endless amounts of that. You just have to have your mind right and a plan. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care, be safe, and sell a bunch. All right, you guys, thank you for listening to this episode of the Productive Not Busy podcast with me, Wayne Weathersby. Hey, do me a favor. Go to wherever you listen to this podcast and hit the subscribe button or the like button. Leave us a review. We are heading towards the top of the charts, and I need your help. It would be much appreciated. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for listening. Be safe. Take care. See you next time. You know, man.